So there is a mask you don't even realize you're wearing. And it's not a physical mask like this one, it is a mental mask. And it keeps you from recognizing the clues in your physical experience, in your body, that are trying to tell you that something's coming up that's going to lead to a breakdown. And you're not going to notice it because of this mask until that nightmare of a breakdown strikes. Before we dive into what the heck I'm talking about, who am I? If you're new to my world, welcome. I'm Dr. Vicky, gentle chiropractor for people as well as pets. I'm a mind body coach and I'm a Reiki healer. And I am here to help everyone be their very best so that they can go out and live life to the fullest. I had a client this week who's like, Dr. Vicky, I feel crazy. I come in here and I think I'm feeling fine. I'm just here for a tune up so that I can stay feeling fine. And you always find all these little spots that I didn't know were giving me a problem until you touched them. And then I go to work and talking to my coworkers and I'm telling them, yeah, I feel a little off. I'm not hurting, but I feel a little off here and there. It's time to go see my chiropractor. And they're like, what are you talking about? She's like, you don't feel when something's just a little off and you need to take care of it? They're like, no, we don't take care of things until they've exploded and we need major help and it's impacting our lives. We don't notice when something's just a little off. I'm here to tell you she is not crazy. What's happened with her is by working together, we have removed the mental mask that so many of us wear and revealed her ability to sense the clues that her own body is trying to send her to help her reveal more of her very best, reveal more of her true self so she can live life at her fullest. She doesn't have to be held back once a breakdown strikes. Her body wants her to be her best all the time and not have those breakdowns in the first place. Your body is the same way. It's constantly sending you clues. It's just we've got this mental mask that's blocking our sight of all of those. And we don't notice until something just completely falls apart. I gotta tell you, this mask, it's of our own making. But it's also not our fault. It is part of the human experience to notice some of what is going on in our environment, but not everything. Our brains cannot handle all of the information that we could possibly take in around us. They're designed to filter some of it out so that we don't go crazy. If you ever know somebody who has bought a new blue car, or maybe you bought a new blue car at one point, as you're driving home off the lot, suddenly you notice all the other blue cars on the road. It's not that there's suddenly more blue cars, it's that now you have told your mind, hey, a blue car is a spiffy thing that I just got. I want you to point out everything that was already in my environment to prove to me that I made a good choice. So now your mind is going to remove the filter of the different cars that are around you and show you all of the blue cars that were already there. You just didn't notice until you told your mind, I want to pay attention to this. The same thing happens with how our minds filter what we are physically experiencing. And here's where it's not our fault. We were conditioned by society since we were little kids, and it continues all the way through adulthood, that we were conditioned to pay attention to crisis, chaos, and confusion. Have you ever been in a group where it seems like they're just getting together to talk about what's going wrong and sometimes argue about who has it worse? Yep. That's what I'm talking about. We have conditioned ourselves not to notice those small early clues that a challenge could be coming up within our bodies. And we don't notice those early signs that say, hey, maybe you should course correct before something goes wrong. Instead, we've taught our minds that we're only going to pay attention if our bodies reach a breaking point that is threatening our survival of life as we know it. Now, maybe it's not threatening our actual lives, but it might be threatening our livelihoods. If you are hurting so bad, you hit such a breakdown that now you can't work for a few days, that impacts so much. That impacts your finances, that impacts your relationships with other people, whether it's within your own house or outside of your own house. It impacts how fair you think the world is to you. It impacts so, so much. Now, hindsight is 2020. So when we get to those breakdowns, sometimes we can look back and see those signs that we missed, but the signs were there all along. We just didn't notice them because we're wearing this mask that is caught on my pants. We're wearing this mask. So, why does our mind mask those early clues? Well, we taught it that those early clues are a lower priority. They're low on the totem pole of what we are going to take action on. We're not willing to take action on a little sign, a little clue that something's a little uncomfortable that could be pointing to, hey, something big is coming down the road. We're going to wait until we smack into that wall, until we hit a breakdown. That's when we're going to take care of it. That's what we've taught our minds. The good news, though, is that anything that has been learned can be relearned. We can reteach our mind that we don't have to wait until we completely break down to do something for ourselves, that we don't need to treat, that we don't need to wait for a threat to our ability to survive life as we know it before we're going to take care of ourselves. But that we can teach our minds that we actually value thriving and staying at our very best so that we can live life to the absolute fullest. And how do we begin to retrain? I'll get to that in a second after I have a sip of water. Hydration is important. It's part of how I take care of myself. So, how do we begin to retrain our minds that we value taking care of ourselves more than just surviving, that we're not going to tolerate just waiting for a breakdown, that we're going to take care of ourselves so that a breakdown doesn't happen in the first place because we want to live life at our very best? How do we begin to retrain? We begin by taking action now to take care of ourselves. Even if we don't notice a challenge, start to take care of yourself now. Prove to your very powerful mind through taking action, because that's how it learns. Prove to your very powerful mind through taking those self care actions that you no longer value just survival in the face of a breakdown, but that instead you value life at your very best and living life to the fullest. And that you recognize that your body has to be at its best so that you can experience that high quality of life. Because if your body's holding you back, there's so much you're going to miss out on. The more you take care of yourself before a breakdown, the more your mind is going to begin to remove this mask and reveal those early clues that you can stay at your very best. Now, if this all makes sense to you, here's your next step. Reach out to me for a no-charge phone consultation to see if we're a right fit to work together on this. Maybe it's through gentle chiropractic care, maybe it's through some restorative Reiki, but let's see if we should be working together to help you retrain your mind and help you start taking care of yourself so that we can remove this mask and reveal you at your very best. Reach out to me, either send me a text message or you can give me a phone call and leave me a voicemail at 636 751 3150. And you'll get a reply from me personally. Don't have any middle peoples in my world. It's just you and me. You deserve that one on one connection, not just with me, but with yourself. So let's begin to remove this mask that your mind has placed over what your body is feeling and reveal you at your very best. Until we get together again next time, go out and live life to the fullest. Bye now.